All right, in the morning, we're saying something that might interest Pastor Shegun. We're talking about full-time ministry. We're trying to understand what does it mean to be in full-time ministry. You know, it was really my wife, so my wife's normally conservative. She runs away from all of this. But I'm the one that anointed for trouble. But in life, there's a calling, right? And if you're in full-time ministry, what you're trying to tell people is that your career and your calling, they mesh together. That your calling is your career is your calling. That's what you're telling people. The question is it true? I can tell you for sure that a lot of people that have churches out there is not true. Their calling and their career are not the same. They are in full-time ministry for other things other than God. God did not call them into full-time ministry. They were just scared of leaving their career. So they came to hide under the one that is easy. Their supposed calling, which is probably not even their calling. Because all of us are called into ministry. We're all called into ministry. And what time I spend to prepare for ministry work far outweighs a lot of people that are in full-time ministry. My wife will tell you that. So some people hide under that full-time ministry guys and cause trouble for us as a church. Because once they hide under that, then they are depending 100% on the ministry to feed them. I'm not saying there are not some people that God has called to be fed by ministry. There are people. But I can tell you probably 80% of the people that are out there are not. A lot of people have started ministry, like I was saying in the morning, crisis. They're in a ministry where the man there that's supposed to be the head is the son of the devil. Even though he's the head of the church, but he's the son of the devil. So he's not handling the funds of the church correctly and rightly, and is not being an image of God or a servant of God in his dealing with salaries. He's just accumulating everything to himself and not taking care of the people under him. So that creates a
lot
crisis.
of that.
Yes, that creates a crisis where the people under him suddenly have a vision. Somehow God suddenly talk to them. They've heard God because of the crisis. The truth is they didn't hear God, they heard themselves. That go and start your own ministry so you can control your own funds also. So a good number like that. A lot of people that say they have ministry, God didn't call them. God didn't ask them to start a church. They started church out of crisis, right? And that's why we have a lot of all the funny things we hear going around. Because once you have an indiscipline in hearing God, that door, the devil will exploit it.
Yeah.
That seeming small indiscipline that you spoke to yourself and you said it was God, the devil will exploit it. And it will begin to tell you a lot more things than you never imagined. And you'll be walking in so much error. You think you are walking in God, whereas you are far away from God. You know? But we have that example all around. We have people that also have even intentionally started church because they know that they call it a business. Because they know that when they start church like this, there'll be offerings. Those ones are, so we have people that are real, people that have missed it slightly. We have people that don't even know God at all, but they have started church. Because you know if they can gather people will give offering, they'll give tithes, and they'll make money. And that is the only reason why they started church. Those ones don't even know God at all. And we have a lot of them around. They have funny names. So some of them also, because they think that, to get more crowd, we need to do miraculous things. Go to Babalawos and go to the other devilish things. Go and get that extra thing that will just sparkle so that they can get more people come, more offering.
Yeah.
We have all of that, you know? So we just need to tell ourselves the truth, you know, go back to the basics, right? There's a calling and there's a career. There's a calling. Everybody has a calling. Everybody has a calling. Everybody has a career. Sometimes they are different, right? You are doing a career and you have a calling. They are two different things. Sometimes they merge, right? Where your calling is your career is your calling, right? That's when we truly say you're in full time, when they merge. But when they don't merge, we say you are part-time because you spend time away from the church, right?
Yeah.
But it's not all the time that the calling and career merge. And sometimes even if you're in full-time ministry, the mind God has given to you is more than just reading Bible. Even the mind God has given to you, by the time you read Bible, it will open your mind to a lot of you can do other than just sitting there in the church. A sanctified mind, a mind of Christ, is a business mind. Look at Chris Okotie. He bought all the property on the road to his church. That is what a sanctified mind does. He bought it when the value was low. Now it's high value. So don't just say I'm called to church, just get it tithe and offering. That's not all that God made your mind for now. Your mind is better than that. A sanctified mind can see. We need to stop. My time is up. We'll continue.
Yeah.
Any last word, Pastor Shegun?
Well, it's true. You balanced it. You balance. It's just the issue of experiences that people have, decisions that people have to take one time or the other, partly out of ignorance, out of not enough knowledge of these things, or even examples that we see out there that motivates people to take decisions that possibly punish them or put them in a disadvantage, even before God.
Yeah, true.
So I mean, it's a lot of, you get into a lot of trouble with that anyway. But it's the truth.
Yeah. I'm anointed for trouble, so I'm okay with that. Yeah.